Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a lovely night. It is Tuesday, March 31st here. Out in the desert, it's just after 7:30, so relatively early, but I know you East Coast folks, it's a little bit of a late one. However, we're here because of you guys reaching those super chat goals, getting those bonus streams going, and man, oh man, this one worked out perfectly because we've got some Scream 8 news to talk about. The film is officially in development, so green light has been lit, and we got some news for Scream 4 on a physical release and Scream 7 physical release and some other fun stuff to talk about here. So we're going to get into all of that. I'm going to jump on over and say what's up to you guys. First off, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that hangs out here and is part of the Davey Deathray community, the Death Squad, as you guys call yourselves. And I guess I call you that as well now, too. So there you go. Just really do appreciate you guys. March has been an awesome month for the channel. So I was hoping we'd see more growth on some of the metrics, but really I wasn't producing as much pre-recorded content, so that has an effect on that. But man, the lives have been going off. You guys have been incredible in the chat. So all I ask is I'll keep on showing up. We'll keep on shaking things up. We won't always talk about the same things, and we're going to keep you guys engaged as long as you keep on showing up and maybe bring some friends along the way. Let's keep on growing this community. And as far as just to piggyback on all of that, I do want to let you guys know I have a super chat goal going here tonight, and it's a little bit different than what we normally do. Usually I do 10 super chats, $2 or more. However, I'm seeing if we can break the monetization record, the personal record of the channel. So if we get those 5 super chats of $4.99 or more, it's going to put us over the top. It'll be the best month that the channel has ever had financially. So we're really close. It would be sweet if we can do that. If not, no big deal. You know, I'm here to hang out and have fun with you guys. You guys already paid for this stream, essentially. So those super chat goals are just something we can do for fun. But we'll go for basically another hour. So what I'll do is I'll say what's up to everybody. We'll cover the news. I'll tell you guys how I feel about it. I'll see what you guys have to say about it. I'll go on my little rant about trailers because I watched 3 of them today, and it was depressing, kind of. I don't know what it was. I watched them all in a row, and I was like, oh my God, these were all terrible trailers. So we'll probably get to that rant, and then if we end up getting that super chat goal, we'll hang out for another hour. So there you go. I'm just going to jump on in and say what's up to you guys so we can get rolling here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you're watching live or you're watching after the fact on the replay, please make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss it when I, post about a stream like 2 hours before I'm about to go live, something crazy like that, like I did today. And yeah, if you're watching after the fact, or maybe you enjoyed the stream so much watching live, after the fact, you can hit that hype button and you can send it out there. It'll make sure that YouTube pushes us in that algorithm, and just some stuff that you can do for free to help out the channel, which is super cool. And really, all I expect, I do expect that. I expect you to show up, and I expect you to click the free things. But with that being said, I'm going to say what's up to everybody, and then we'll get into some horror news. How about it? We got Antonis Andriotis, one of our great channel members. How are you doing there, Antonis? Tara Brewer is hanging out, watching a little Patrick Dempsey in his new show. There you go. We got Shannon from Talking Star Wars. She's got a question about Scream 8. And what I'm going to do, Shannon, is I'm going to put a star on that one. And after we're done talking about that news story, I will grab that. If I forget it, say, hey, don't forget my starred comment. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'll save that for later. Linda G, one of our great channel members, jumping on in as well. And guys, I don't know if I said this, but Shannon from Talking Star Wars, also one of our great channel members. Linda says it could be either, or honestly, they might just have the writers for now and wanted to. Oh, she's answering Shannon's question there. Yeah, we will talk about all of that kind of stuff. I'm sort of surprised at some of the info, so I'll let you guys know how I feel once we jump in there. And then I'm just going to star your comments as well there, Linda, and welcome on in. I'm so glad you can kick it with us here for a little bit. We got Steph joining us as well. What's happening, Steph? Hope you are doing well. Thank you for hanging with us. We got Ryan Michael, my good buddy out there in the PN Dubs, one of our amazing channel members and a good friend, a personal friend, a IRL friend before he was a digital friend. We got Tia Nina, another one of our great channel members, hanging out as well. What's happening there, Tia? Thank you so much for jumping on in. I know I'm going kind of late, but hey, I kind of like it this way. Some of you guys might be getting ready for bed. I don't have to compete with the other people that are going live at prime time. And I know that even though some folks probably talked about this Scream 8 news, we are getting, maybe there are people who are like, I just need more. You know how we are. I know how we are. Us horror fans, we want to go hear what everyone has to say about this thing. What does so-and-so have to say about the news? What is this guy? What is this gal? Like, who, you know what I mean? That's how I am anyways as an audience member. And maybe there are some folks out there that are curious as to what I might have to say. Oh my gosh, look at that. From over on Twitch, we got Davey Deathray. Yep, that's right. We are streaming on Twitch for the very first time tonight. So if you're watching on Twitch, that's really, really cool. Let us know by saying what's up in the chat. I'm very curious to know how this rolls and how Twitch promotes somebody who's never done a stream before that's all of a sudden talking about Scream on a platform that's mostly for gamers. Yeah, for a second there. Close enough anyways. We got Jigsaw dropping a $2 super chat. What's happening, Jiggy? Jiggy is doing some I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I think those are the actual lyrics, so I just went with that, Jiggy. Hope you're not offended. But thank you so much for the two. Really do appreciate you. We got Sean G hanging out. What's up with G? How are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I know it's really late. I know it's late out there on the East Coast, and I know Erica's got a real adult job and can't be messing around with those late nights all of the time. But yeah, maybe she will hear her name being said and know that it's being typed in the chat, and maybe she will show on up. Let's see. What's happening, Carrie? Welcome on in. We got Carrie Crave Cinema, one of our great channel members and a content creator herself. So there you go. Go on and show some love over to Carrie's channel. If you haven't already, she just passed 1.5 thousand subscribers. Scream won't be a great franchise again until they take some leaps. Yes, Zach, I'm totally with you. I agree. We will talk a little bit about that. Not many deep valleys, but also not very high peaks, I don't think, in this franchise. At least for me personally. I think it's solid, but I think it's just above average. You know what I mean? Like, nothing about Scream other than the first movie really like blows me away, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to be mean about the franchise. I just mean that it's relatively grounded. It doesn't take as many chances. So I think it's pretty even keeled. If that makes any sense. I know it sounds like a criticism, but it's just that, I don't know. I just love Halloween so much that I'll never think of Scream in the same way that I think of Halloween. How about that? Okay, I think I've said hello to everybody except for Lenny. What's happening, Lenny? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Jigsaw dropping a 5 says, and here we go. Little joker there, I would imagine. Sean G dropping a 5er with his let's go. Thank you so much, G. Appreciate you. That is a $5 Canadian. Look at that. Antonis Andriotis with a $5. And all these came in at once. I'll start you off with super chat number 1. You guys must have all had the same thought. Boom, boom, boom. I love that about you guys. I love that you guys, answer the bell, as it were. Answer the bell. All right, Jason, what's happening? Welcome on in, one of our great channel members. Hope you are doing very, very well. Man, I still need to play Requiem. I need a new system. Ultimately, I need a new system. I can play Requiem. I can get the new Halloween game, all that kind of fun stuff. Brian says, ready for Scream 8. Bet we get it by 2028. I would not be surprised. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if it's December 2027. Like, that wouldn't shock me because we've had, I think, 2 of the movies in the franchise come out in December. I know lately it's been the January, February kind of vibe, but we've had a couple. I think the first 2 were December movies, if I remember correctly. So it could be as soon as that, or yeah, they could just stick with the 2028. But with them putting it in development right now, totally feasible. We could get it sooner rather than later. I mean, it's a good sign that everything's rolling, and we'll see how we really feel about all of that ultimately, right? We got Joshua Brooks jumping on in, says, I'm not sure if these new writers will be good. They haven't done horror or film before. Yes, we are going to talk about those concerns, Joshua, absolutely, because I am not so much familiar with the writers' television work, so we'll talk about that. But I've definitely got my concerns after reading that Buffy script. T. Parker Evans, welcome on in, T. Hope you're doing well. Drops a $5 super chat and says, happy Scream Day. Scream 7 came out on digital, Scream 4 4K, and Scream 8 news. Regarding the new writers, maybe Buffy wasn't their thing and Scream is. I've heard that about one of the shows they created or wrote for, has some sort of whodunit element. You guys are going to have to tell me in the live chat if you're familiar. We'll talk about those shows when we cover the news. And if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Like, I'm going to do my best, guys, to just be even keeled with this. And I'm going to, I know the whole internet thing is to overreact and just like freak out. But I read 3.5 pages of the Buffy script. It wasn't good. But what T. Parker says right here could be very much true. Like, maybe it just ain't their thing. It's writing. I think Scream is difficult and Buffy's difficult because the writers just have such a strong voice and know how to write their characters just so distinctly well. So I think it is tricky to jump in and try to write it and make it feel and sound like Kevin, right? Just like it is with Joss Whedon with Buffy. So I'm hoping that if they really have experience with the whodunit kind of vibe and they've done that well on television, I hope that can translate well. But yeah, we'll talk about all of that. Thank you so very much for the 5T. I really do appreciate you. And I appreciate you reaching out to me with some of the news today, because I probably would have skimmed across it at some point, but the fact that you told me when you did allowed me to still finish out my workday and set everything up. So I appreciate you, man. Good looking out. Thank you. We got Nathan Mills hanging out. What's happening, Nathan? Oh, man, I hope he doesn't come back. I'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm sure, guys, I will talk about Scream 8, my theories, what I think will happen, what I don't want to have happen. We'll get to all of that stuff. This will really be more about my feelings on the actual news once we jump in there and cover it there. We got Ryan Michael dropping a $1.99 super chat, says, here's the finish. Well, did we get it? Boom. We got it. We did get it. Here's the real finish, says Ryan to correct himself. I know I threw you guys a button hook. Thank you so much for the 2, Ryan. I really do appreciate you. But yes, I threw you guys a button hook by doing the 5 for 5 because I was like, oh, it would be cool to see, can we break that record on the monetization? We got Sharkbait 364 jumping out. Oh, it's only me here. Is that Steph? I think that's Steph. That looks like Steph to me. Or it's Steph's twin sister, something like that. I just want to make sure I've said hello to everybody. Aaron, a.k.a. Super Tenor, is hanging out. One of our great channel members. What's happening, Aaron? Hope you are doing well. DJ Plays Favorites, another one of our great channel members. What's happening, DJ? Hope you are doing excellent this evening. Ryan Michael with the real finisher there, the $4.99er. Thank you so very much, Ryan. You guys have helped us reach that goal. So boom, there we are. 5 chats, super chats of $5 or more. We will go for a second hour. So I will quit my yapping and we will get to the news. But I can't not say hello to Based Logic. Welcome back in, bud. It's been a while. Scream 2 was December 12th. I went opening night. I knew those first 2 were right in that time. So perfect. Thank you so very much for the confirmation. Sometimes when it comes to dates, guys, I need you to swoop in and help me out. So thank you very much, Base Logic. Appreciate you. Tia Nina dropping a $2 super chat, says, I'm going to call it Scream 8. ¿Cómo se dice scream in español? It should be that Ocho or Ocho and then that. Just even if that's not correct, it would be funny maybe to do that. I don't know. You guys tell me. Okay, sweet. I think I'm all caught up. Just when I think I am, they pull me back in. We got Sean hanging out with us as being the first female writers to the series. It will be interesting to see their perspective and how that plays in with the relationship. Well, it sure will. And are they really going to take some chances here with who ends up being Ghostface? I'm very curious to see. Or is it just going to be another couple white people? We'll find out. Where can I read the Buffy script, says Ben. I've been looking for it because they took it off that scribed page. I only read the first 3.5 pages. But if you find a copy out there, Ben, I would love to be able to read the whole thing because yeah, I mean, the first 3.5 pages were rough. I read them on a stream here on the channel. So if you missed that and you're curious to know what it was, you know, what the opening scene was like and how cringy it was, you can find it here on the page. All right, Chris Schober jumping on in. What's happening? Chris, guys, so I will give you all my thoughts. I'm gonna star these chats. I'll star the super chats too. They get automatically starred. So I'm just gonna star some of these chats because I'll let you guys know how I feel about everything once we really jump in. Okay, cool. I have El Screamo. I know speak de Spanish. Well, yeah, well we could, you know, you guys, somebody could look up the word scream in Spanish. I wasn't assuming that anyone. I figured maybe somebody in here knew what it was. I don't know. I mean, I took Spanish in high school and in college. La Universidad, as they call it. Anywho, guys, let's jump into some movie news. I'm going to have a little sip of water, and then we're going to get going. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. What are we doing? We are doing this one, right? Is that the one? Okay, sweet. So, guys, let's start out with we're gonna lead up to the Scream 8 stuff. Don't worry. I'm gonna get to it all pretty quick, okay? I'll jump into the comments, but while I do the reading of the news bit, it'll just be I'll just be focused on this, guys. But then we'll jump in and see what you guys have to say. Okay. Let me grab that window there. All right. Okay, guys. So is that really how I want to start it? I don't think that's how I want to start it. So, guys, after quite a bit of waiting for some sort of 4K on Scream 4, and also a bit of a cleaned up version, because in a lot of these shots, there's a bit of that Vaseline kind of look. And I think they did everything they could to mitigate that on this upcoming release. Although I suppose that is yet to be fully seen. Once we get the release, we will know. But this is very exciting, guys, because we've got a 4K Steelbook and a VHS of Scream 4 that are up for pre-order. So let's go ahead and jump into this article here that comes to us by way of John Squires over at Bloody Disgusting and see what we got. And of course, we will take a look at the pictures. So the article says, Wes Craven's final film, Scream 4, is slashing its way back onto physical media with a couple new releases from Lionsgate, and they include the film's first ever VHS and 4K releases. Both the VHS and the 4K Steelbook for Scream 4 are now up for pre-order through Lionsgate Limited, with the VHS selling for $29.99 and the 4K Steelbook selling for $34.99. The Be Kind Rewind edition of Scream 4 on VHS boasts a, quote, special edition playable VHS transfer of the film, while the Steelbook comes with the 4K plus Blu-ray plus digital copy. And the Steelbook marks the first time that Scream 4 has been available in 4K. And guys, this one features the Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. And the 4K release even includes some new special features. So we're going to have some featurettes that are going to include the meta of Scream, rebooting the franchise, Scream 4 Revisited, Ghostface revealed, and Wes Craven, the maestro of Scream, packaged with legacy featurettes, interviews, deleted extended scenes, and all that kind of good stuff. Guys, these releases are going to come to us on June 9th, 2026. You can pre-order these now, and let's take a look at some of what we've got here, because the VHS is looking pretty slick. I'm not going to lie. I really like the cover there. with the camera, because the killer is making his own movies and everything like that. Really love that, the contrast of the white VHS cassette tape with the black sticker and of course the Scream 4 title there and everything. And, you know, old school back cover looking pretty good too. Everyone, you know, people rip about Nev seeming a little tired, a little nap heavy in Scream 4, but look at her. She's spry. She's ready to go right there next to the UPC. So yeah, I mean, anytime a VHS comes out, I don't collect them personally, guys, but I know us horror fans, we just kind of freak out over this stuff and we absolutely adore it. So I know this thing is going to sell really, really well. Also, the 4K will. As you can see here, we're looking at the Steelbook, just the inside. We've got that great shot of Sydney there and the double disc. And as we move on over to the remainder of the, you know, what we're getting on the back cover and the front cover there, we can see that. So really leaning into like the webcam or the wireless cam kind of vibe here. A little bit of a Scream 4 BB-8 there on the left side of the screen. But the Steelbook looks really nice. I love that shot of, you know, the silhouetted shot of Ghostface that's turning into the knife. I think that's a pretty damn cool look. If you guys don't know how I feel about Scream 4, it's my favorite sequel in the franchise. So I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to pick up a copy on Steelbook. I don't think I'm going to go VHS, but we'll go Steelbook with this one because I have to have this one, guys. I really do. I just, no way of avoiding it with Scream 4 because it's just that damn good. But I don't know. Let me know in the live chat if you guys are going to get a copy. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comments. Let me know what you think of Scream 4, what you think of this release with the not only the 4K, but also the VHS. And yeah, having said that, we're going to wrap up this little section here. And guys, we've got some Scream 7 physical release news to follow up here. Not only is it available on digital media as of today, there we go. I'm going to move on over here. So not only is Scream 7 available on digital media today, it is going to be coming to us on physical media in June. This one comes to us by Alex DiVincenzo over there at Bloody Disgusting, and we're just going to read a little bit about the specs and everything like that. Let's jump into this article right meow. So after becoming the franchise's highest grossing entry with over $200 million worldwide, oh, we'll talk about that. Scream 7 will be available to watch at home on digital tomorrow, which is today, March 31st via Paramount. The latest installment in the slasher saga will also be released on Steelbook, 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD on June 16th via Paramount, with over 40 minutes of special features included. So we are going to get Scar Tissue, which is the making of Scream 7. We're also getting Building Tension, which is a production design featurette. Dance of Death, so we're taking a look at the stunts there. We're getting 6 deleted scenes, and, you know, not that anyone really asked for it, but we are getting the Twisting the Knife video by Ice 9 Kills featuring McKenna Grace. I mean, why not put that on there? But guys, one thing that is not here, and I've looked at more detailed info on what's included here in the special features. There is somewhere I saw where they've mapped out what each one of these deleted scenes are, or at least what they're called. It doesn't look like we're getting that ending with Stu being alive. You know, it does. So everything I'm seeing is they said they filmed that. It doesn't look like it's going to be included on the special features here for the first release of Scream 7, but I wouldn't be surprised. You guys know how they do this. They know that we will buy more than one copy if they hold out on things like commentaries, deleted scenes that everyone is talking about and wants to see. So, you know, don't be surprised if in a couple years down the line or right when Scream 8's about to come out, do not be surprised if we get another release of Scream 7, director commentary with Nev Campbell on there as well, and then we get to see that Stu Macher ending, or maybe it'll leak in the interim. But I know I want to see it. I'm kind of bummed it won't be on here. But yeah, what can you do? These are the specs that we've got so far. Maybe we'll get some new news, and if we do, I'll make sure to let you guys know what we've got. But let's just take a quick look over here. So this is the Steelbook design. I'm I don't mind the, I don't know. I like the gatefold when you open it up. I like that shot of Ghostface. It's cool. It's got this spacey, ethereal thing going. The whole like sherbet kind of colors, I don't really know where that comes from for Scream, but whatever. It looks cool. I am not really digging the cover of the Steelbook, but maybe that's just me. The Scream title being green, like the Stab title, I'm not big on that. They put Stab in the marquee of the theater, which I don't get because that's not even in the movie, but whatever. Maybe I'm just being picky, guys. I don't know. I'm not this kind of person that will just automatically say everything looks awesome and looks great when I see it. I will sort of be like, is this cool? Or am I just excited because I like the intellectual property? So yeah, Steelbook I think looks all right. You know, it's okay. I really do like there's a 4K Ultra HD that we've got here right next to it's handmade by robots. So it's not a pop vinyl figure, but it looks like a crocheted kind of figure that's very, very similar to Pop's. But look at this. There's something interesting going on here with the 4K Ultra cover. Like, yeah, I like it more. But you know what? I think it looks a little bit like Halloween Kills. Like, don't get me wrong. Ghostface is orange. Okay, I got nothing against that. But Ghostface orange, doing the kind of, you know, looking over his shoulder thing, or, you know, kind of profile, 3/4 profile shot, and the flames off the back of the hood there, right? I just get big time Halloween Kills vibes. And I don't know if that's done on purpose. I mean, the Scream franchise is it's always taken, and I mean in a good way, taken from Halloween. It's always looked to Halloween for inspiration. But what's cool is Scream stands out because it's whodunit. There's, you know, motives and revenge involved and all sorts of stuff that, you know, elements that Halloween doesn't have. So I think that's kind of a cool way of doing it, because they can always go back to that home base of Halloween, but it's still going to be framed within the confines of Scream. So there you go, right there. Halloween Kills, right on the cover. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know. Are you pumped for the Scream 7 physical release? Which cover do you like better? Are you digging more of this, you know, the 4K UHD, or are you feeling more of this the Blu-ray 4K Steelbook kind of thing? Or is this just, oh, that's just the Blu-ray and the DVD. Oh no, it is a 4K. Sorry, I'm talking out of my ass. I should have looked closer at the discs there. Or just assumed they're all going to be 4K. Like, why would they do a Blu-ray DVD Steelbook? I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments which version you're digging more. And I'm sure there are some people out there that are like, I am not getting either version of this movie because I didn't really like this movie, which, hey, fair enough. You can also let me know that in the comments. I love a good, invigorating conversation. So guys, let's jump on over to here. We were talking about how Scream 7 crushed that $200 million mark at the box office. It is the first Scream movie in the franchise to do so. And, you know, which John Squires from Bloody Disgusting says right here. And let's take a closer look at the numbers and all of that. And then we are jumping into Scream 8 news. I've been trying to be as economical as I can with the time here, guys. So here we go. This article says, Scream 7 quickly became a record-breaking installment in the 30 years long saga when it became the highest grossing single installment in the franchise earlier this month. And the film just shattered another big-time box office record for the Scream franchise. With a current worldwide total of a whopping $204,095,676, Scream 7 is now officially the first and only movie in the Scream franchise to slash into $200 million at the box office. Little flub. I swear I can read. I swear I can read, guys. $118.6 million of that was made domestically, with $85.4 million scared up internationally. Wes Craven's original Scream made $173 million worldwide by the end of its run back in 1996, and it had long been the highest grossing installment in the franchise. It's now been dethroned by Kevin Williamson's Scream 7, though we must note that the original Scream's 30-year-old box office numbers have not been adjusted for present day inflation for this article, as you know, they rarely do. In addition to smashing through those two impressive records, Scream 7 is also the movie to propel the Scream franchise past $1 billion at the worldwide box office. And over the course of the past 30 years, the Scream movies have scared up. Check this out, guys. Let's see if I can mess this one up. 1,116,513,775 in theaters, making Scream one of only 6 horror franchises in history to hit that milestone. So it's no secret why we got the news that we received today. That boom, here we go, guys. Scream 8 is officially in development. Let me bring that on over there. So Scream 8 officially in development from Poker Face writers Leela and Nora Zuckerman. This one comes to us by way of Alex DiVincenzo over at Bloody Disgusting. So let's go ahead and jump into the article. Let's find out what we can find out, and then let's have this conversation, see how we're feeling about the Scream 8 news so far. So the article says, Spyglass Media Group is officially developing the 8th installment of the Scream franchise with writers Leela and Nora Zuckerman, Deadline has learned. The Zuckerman sisters most recently penned the Buffy the Vampire Slayer New Sunnydale pilot, which Hulu passed on earlier this month. The duo previously served as showrunners on Peacock's Poker Face and worked as writers on the likes of Suits, Fringe, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Haven. Now, real quick, guys, Poker Face, I checked it out on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh my God, like 97% critic rating, 76% audience rating, like very well-liked show. I've never seen an episode. I think, you know, Natasha Lyonne is very charming and everything. I don't watch a lot of TV shows, but I've heard good things. So that's encouraging. I've seen a few episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe like the first season or season and a half, but the other shows I'm completely unaware of. So whether or not you like them, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. I want to get a better idea of what we might be in store for. So help a brother out as best you can. An article continues by saying, the news comes as Scream 7 arrives on digital today after crossing the $200 million mark on the global box office, making Scream a $1 billion franchise. So there we go. That's really all we get. You know, we've got a little blurb from Megan Navarro from her review. It doesn't seem like she enjoyed Scream 7 very much. And here we go to end out the article. It says Scream 7 writer-director Kevin Williamson recently confirmed he had no plans to helm the next installment. So it'll be interesting to get some new blood involved in the slasher saga. So let's have a chat about all of that. And I'm going to come back on over here. Okay, so my thoughts on the Scream 8 news that it's in development, and we've got the Zuckerman sisters writing here. I am kind of bummed out. You know, I think over the weekend, somebody had jumped in on one of the streams and was like, hey, the Zuckerman sisters are writing Scream 8. And I was like, oh crap, is that confirmed? I haven't seen it confirmed. And they're like, it's out there. So I looked it up on Google. I found this page where there was a copyright that was submitted for Scream 8 and it had their names on it. And I'm like, well, that seems pretty legit. They're at least like very close in the running, or, you know, it's probably a foregone conclusion that they've got it. So here we go. Today we've got the news. You know, I've only read the first 3.5 pages of that Buffy New Sunnydale script, and it was not good. It was very cringy on the dialogue. It didn't seem like they understood the assignment as far as like trying to do something that would feel like a Joss Whedon script. They were way off. So hopefully, like T. Parker Evans said earlier with his super chat, hopefully we get, you know, hopefully Scream 8 is something that they understand a little bit more. So you guys are going to have to tell me, have they written whodunit? Have they written revenge kind of drama before? It will be cool to have that female perspective, like one of our chatters said earlier today. You know, it'll be different. I feel like Kevin's always done a really good job at writing all of the characters, so that's not been an issue for me, not something I've been yearning for. I'm more on the side of I want to see them take some chances. I've wanted that from Scream for some time, so maybe this is one of those big chances. Now, I want Kevin to do Scream 8. I want him to write it, produce it, direct it. Clearly, it's not really something he's very interested in. I thought up till today that it was like a 50-50 chance that he would come back, you know, that he was maybe just playing a little hardball. You know, Paramount would come to him, give him the Godfather offer, and just basically say, hey, man, we'll give you total control. We'll let you make whatever movie you want to make after Scream 8. Let's come back. Let's get the band back together. Let's do one more, you know, one more that you get to conceive and write yourself, and you're not working with other people's characters, or you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of able to set things back to zero with Scream 7 and then shoot off to something new in Scream 8. But I don't think that's happening now. I think with them moving forward with the Zuckerman sisters, we're going to get a new director. I would be very surprised if Kevin comes in at this point. Who knows? It could still happen. I just wouldn't bank on it. So I don't really have any idea of who that person would be. And after thinking about it kind of, you know, most of the afternoon, there aren't many directors that really come to mind, right? I would imagine it's going to be somebody that has directed within the last 2 years, or maybe somebody that's directing something this year, some sort of slasher that might surprise people, or something in the horror realm that might, you know, kind of come out of nowhere, sort of an up and comer that would slide into the Scream franchise. I don't really see like a veteran director wanting to jump in on the 8th installment of Scream, unless they are given a bunch of control and they're known for, you know, they're known for doing that, you know, they're known for writing, directing, producing, doing the whole thing or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know who it'll be. You guys will have to let me know in the chat who you would want to see direct Scream 8. You know, there are a lot of like modern filmmakers that I am just not as aware of, and all that kind of stuff. So I could be totally missing some up and comers that we already know about. You know, like if somebody like Mike P. Nelson, who just did the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake back in December of 2025, like if he wanted to do Scream, like I could be down for that. Like that could be pretty cool. Yeah, but you never know. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. As far as the, you know, the Zuckerman sisters, and I said I wasn't going to freak out, you know, I'm going to try to be as even keeled. I want to hold off the judgment. I'm going to hold off the judgment. You can only judge the Buffy script for being a Buffy script, right? And we don't know who's directing. We don't know if there are other creatives involved at this point. We have such limited information right now. So let's just, at least what I'm going to say, maybe I'm trying to counsel myself as well as counsel you guys. So don't think I'm talking down to anyone, because I'm saying this for me as well. We just need to, you know, take a step back, take the news as it comes. We can jump in here to discuss it and all that kind of stuff, but it'll be really interesting to see how this develops, and to see, you know, when we get a release date, all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking, you know, December 2027 would be the earliest I would imagine that this would be released, but you never know. Maybe, how about this, guys? If it's a December 2027 film and it's a Christmas themed, or, you know, winter themed Scream film, like it takes place at during Christmas break or something like that, I think that could be really cool. And that would definitely invigorate some excitement from me as an audience member. Now, it doesn't solve all the formulaic issues, but it would be a cool new backdrop. And then, of course, I would want to, you know, I don't consider making a winter horror movie a big swing. I still want some big swings as far as the stories and characters go, but it would be cool to see a little bit of a different backdrop for Scream 8. And yeah, I think that's all I've got right now with what we've got, but I am, you know, looking forward to the film because I'm a fan of the franchise, and I kind of go cautiously optimistic with these things. And we'll see. Maybe we'll get some news that will drag me down, but I'm going to try to stay positive as long as I can, because maybe we don't get enough of that on the internet when we talk about movies and all that kind of stuff. But trust me, guys, if it gets to a point where I'm feeling not so good about it, I know that you guys can fully expect the 100% genuine article from me, and I will have a freak out if it is necessary. I'll do that. I'll do that for you guys. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you're watching live, let me know what you got there. And other than that, guys, that is going to wrap up this little bit of news, the very first official news for Scream 8. Okay, guys, let's jump into the real chitter chatter. Thank you so much for hanging with me through reading all of that and everything. I really do appreciate you guys. And only a couple mistakes. Really, not that bad. Don't worry, I will beat myself up after. But we'll wait until the end of the stream for that. But yeah, let me jump into, I want to grab a couple of the starred chats from earlier because they're way up there in the chat. I know I'm way far behind, guys. So, feel free if I miss something that you say or miss a question, feel free to pop it in the chat again. Let's see here. So Shannon said, is it typical for the writers of Scream 8 to be announced without a director, or do you think they just have one there just waiting? I think it is kind of strange. So I think what happened here, Shannon, is, the copyright thing, which was filed, I think the copyright for Scream 8 by the Zuckerman sisters, when I looked at the website, I think it was filed back in like November, October, November, December of 2025. So it was filed a while ago. So this thing it's just been sitting on a government site, right? Somebody found it. Somebody went over there and checked out Scream 8 and saw that there was one there under the two sisters' names. And I think what happened is they're like, all right, well, Kat's kind of out of the bag. Let's go ahead and make it official. Let's announce development. Because, yeah, usually, not always is a director announced, but usually like producers are announced. Producers, writers, and if they do have the director lined up, they would say it then. Maybe they're still trying to work on getting Kevin to come back. Maybe Kevin would be more open to directing if he doesn't have to write. I don't know. I would love to get into his brain or have a chat with him, because I was really hoping he would come back to do Scream 8. So yeah, it is. I think it's a little unorthodox that we are only getting the writers' names and nothing else. But it does happen, from time to time where a director isn't announced right away. Maybe they're talking to a few directors, maybe they kind of have it whittled down, but they haven't sealed the deal on anyone. So yeah, Linda says it could be either, or honestly, they might have the writers for now and wanted to make the Scream 8 announcement. Yeah, I think they were just sort of like, cat's out of the bag. Let's say something. Let's let the world know. They might be working out details with the director, or they could be hoping to have writers attached will help them find a director. That's true too, to be able to sort of shop around an idea to a director. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyone else super nervous about this announcement since they were the Buffy New Sunnydale plot writing team? Please don't mess up Scream for me as well. Yeah. That's where the nerves come in, and that's where I hope that some of you guys can maybe tell me like, hey, the episodes that they wrote for Fringe and Haven and Suits were like really good. Like, I've never watched Fringe or Suits. I don't even know what Haven is, right? So I am coming at it from a very ignorant standpoint because I've only read the 3.5 pages of the Buffy thing. So what if that's the worst thing they've ever done? It's still not good, right? So but I think in the spirit of trying to keep things positive, I have to acknowledge that, look, I don't know everything these sisters have written. I'm not a doom tuber, guys. So I'm not one of those people. I am more about, I believe in merit. I believe in earning things, and I believe at looking fairly at people's work and people's effort and all that stuff. I don't care what's between your legs or the color of your skin or what you identify as or who you vote for or whatever. I just want the work to be good. Like, I want the art to be good. So there may be doom tubers out there that are like, as soon as a woman becomes involved with the movie, they're like, oh, well, that's it. Like, it's very easy to go there. It's very easy to try to get those clicks and try to appeal to all of that. But I would have to see it first in their work. And then I could criticize the work for being the way it is. I'm not so much interested in criticizing a person, but I feel like criticizing work is pretty fair. So yeah, the new Sunnydale stuff was really rough. They did a revamp of the script. I don't know if the sisters rewrote their own script. I haven't seen the reworked script. So, because Sarah Michelle Gellar went out and she was basically like, don't read the pilot script. It's the shooting script that we used, but we worked on it, and it was so much better after. So I don't know if the Zuckerman sisters did any of that cleanup, for all we know, they just wrote the bad version, and that was that. So yeah, it's kind of a wait and see right now, isn't it, Linda? And I think that's a bummer. I used that word earlier to describe my general feelings when I heard the news, and it's like they've never written a film. They, have been showrunners for a very successful TV show, and they've written for some successful shows as well. But not having worked in film, not really knowing who they are, those things do concern me. Yeah, when the option is to have, Kevin Williamson write it, when that is something that, well, maybe not an option, but that's something that's possible. With the right set of circumstances and the right amount of bags of money, you could get Kevin back. So I think, a lot of people are like, well, it's good that Guy Busick is away from it. He was the problem. And like, I have plenty of issues with Guy's writing, whether it's the radio silence stuff or what was brought into Scream 7 or, that was left in Scream 7 from his original script. I certainly have my issues, but I don't think that just like different is automatically going to be better. We don't know that. Different could be just as bad, but in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that problems are going to be fixed. It doesn't mean that some of the issues that Guy has in his writing, that the Zuckerman sisters like don't have those issues. I don't know. Again, that Buffy script was really rough. I think a lot of Guy's writing is really rough. So this is kind of like, I don't know if any of you are sports fans. I might lose some people with this, but I'm a big NFL guy, American football. And a lot of times people will be like, oh, we need to get rid of this quarterback, or we need to get rid of this coach. And a good question to ask back is, who are you going to get that's going to be better? Do you have a better replacement, or you just want to replace them? And I think that's kind of like the Guy Busick, the people are not the biggest fans of his writing in Scream, especially wanting somebody new. It's like, are we sure we're making the right choice? Like, is it an upgrade, or is this just like a lateral move and we're just moving it over to two other people that really aren't very capable? I don't know. Does Hollywood only have like 6 writers to choose from? Couldn't they have shadowed a community college creative writing class to find something or someone more appealing? Well, that's certainly something to be discussed, Zach. I mean, yeah, Hollywood is like the way that the film industry works by and large, or people, those connections. There's certainly, level of politicking involved with all that kind of stuff too. And, friends helping friends and all that kind of stuff, or even people that are connected in a familial way, or, family friends kind of stuff. So yeah, it's very kind of incestuous and pretty exclusive. Like, let's be honest about how things, that Hollywood wants to be like, hey, we're super diverse. We're all about inclusivity, and we're all about like everyone sharing and this and that. When it comes to like the decisions that are made with millions and millions of dollars, like they are very exclusive about who they decide to use. It does, so they're picky no matter who it is, no matter what the qualifying factors are. So maybe the Zuckerman sisters, when they show ran for Poker Face, if they did a really good job and people liked them, that's a big thing, is likability. That's why Kevin Hart and The Rock are in movie after movie after movie after movie. They're not great actors. They must be easy to work with. People like them. They have a mainstream, kind of appeal and all that. And I think that's a big thing. So if the Zuckerman sisters have made people feel pretty good about them personally, and they've had good working relationships, maybe from the eyes of producers, they're like, these girls just haven't had the chance to do something big. Like, these girls need an opportunity to do something like Scream and show the world what they can really do. But yeah, I'm always open for, it's not even just the writers, Zach, it's performers and everything. Every time a new movie, or anytime, like even just with us, with horror fans, right? A new, like, let's reboot this, let's reboot that. It's still, I mean, how many people in horror, like Mike Flanagan needs to direct it? They want Evan Peters in it, or Bill Skarsgård in it. And so, I mean, that idea of like Hollywood only using 6 writers, see, that extends even to us as fans. We can be really myopic about like the directors that we have in mind, right? And and this is no judgment on anyone else out there, you know, or any of you guys out there that are, you know, in the chat, or anyone that might be leaving a comment, but I just see a lot from within our community, a lot of like, you know, hey, I would like this person to direct this movie, but you're naming like a very big name that would not really be interested in doing that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of an example right now off the top of my head. But it would be like the idea of like Jordan Peele doing something like A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, would he really want to do that when his independent or his movies that are brand new IPs are doing just fine? You know, like stuff like that. So yeah, I just think that there's that kind of myopic thing, and I think it's just a little bit easier. You know, you're like, hey, we trust these people. Let's have them write it. Let's give them that chance. But yeah, I'm concerned for sure. Well, there we go. Oh, hey, it didn't even get to this. If they include Stu in the Scream 8 movie, oh, do you think that? Oh my gosh, Chris, I don't know if you're still here, but I will say this. I really hope Stu is not in Scream 8. I think that would be it for me. I think I'd be out after that. If you tease it in Scream 7 and he's not actually alive in Scream 7, but then they go back on that and they bring him back to life in Scream 8, to me, that is going to be the jump that just jumped every shark. It'd be like the boat is turning around to go back to the dock, and on the way back to the dock, they just jump over every single shark on the way back, because you're basically you're making Scream 7 kind of useless, kind of pointless. I don't know. Scream 7 was the time to do it if they were going to do it. I didn't want them to do it, but I wouldn't have hated the movie just because, you know, it would be all about how it played out. But to tease it and to tease it to say he's not alive, that's dumb, blah, 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 and then bring him back, I would take offense to that as a fan of the franchise. I really would. You know, it's just one of those things. All right, let me jump on over here. Oh, we got a $4.99 super chat from Antonis Andriotis. Thank you so much, Antonis. Says, will Scream 8 have cringe dialogue like the last few movies had in them? You know, a lot of movies have those moments nowadays, especially, I notice. So, based on what I read from the Buffy script that these two women wrote, yes, Scream 8 will have cringe dialogue, and probably more than you've seen in the last 3 movies, unfortunately, if the writing that they did on Buffy is the quality of writing that we get for Scream 8. It's going to be pretty rough, but we'll wait and see. Maybe they got some cool idea. Maybe they've got a fresh spin. I'm sure at some point we'll get a very loose synopsis of, you know, what that story is, so we can kind of, you know, have a vague idea of where they might be going. And, you know, that should be an indicator right there of like, are we feeling good about that idea or do we not like that idea? But cringe dialogue, I would absolutely expect it based on what I read from the Buffy script. It was really bad, Antonis. It was like, I don't even know. I don't even, like, almost like it's meant as a joke. It was that bad. I don't know. We got Nicholas Woodall dropping a $2.60. Nicholas, is that a super sticker that was dropped in there? I wonder if that was a super sticker. Thank you so very much, Nicholas. Really do appreciate you. I'm reloading the YouTube side so I can see if it is a super sticker. I just get a kick out of saying it that way. I don't know why. But really quick, guys, before we just continue with the conversation, I'm going to keep on talking. Don't worry. It looks like 51 people have voted in the poll. Cool. I just wanted to see. I'm going to close the poll now because I've been forgetting lately to do that before we close out on our stream. So, and with 51 people voting, we have a pretty good representation here. So 41% of you guys, sorry about the plosive, 41% of you guys are feeling cautiously optimistic. 25% of you are feeling zero hype for Scream 8 because this franchise is done. Man, a quarter of you. That is significant. That is unfortunate. Let's see here. 24% of you say fully hyped, bring on Ghostface. And 10% of you say that you're worried because Scream 7 didn't land well for you. And I totally get that. If the previous film doesn't work for you, it's going to be really tough to feel good about the next one. I enjoyed Scream 7, but it's in the middle of my ranking. So it's not super precious to me. It's not this, holy, blameless creature or anything like that. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for jumping in on the vote. And I'm sorry, I'm just sort of reflecting on the 25% of people that say that the franchise is done. That's pretty significant. Oh man, hopefully Scream can recover. I mean, I know they made a bunch of money, but what happens with Scream 8 and how it's received will definitely say something about the legacy of Scream 7, I think. The Stew ending is supposedly only on physical edition or some fancy special edition only. Yeah, I read a list of the deleted scenes. It wasn't listed there. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be part of the first physical release. They do that a lot though. They'll release the second version that's got the commentary and all the stuff you actually wanted to see. I hate that they do that. To me, I just feel like they're taking advantage of us. And it sucks because I want to get a movie when it comes out. If I'm really into it, I want to get it right away and watch it. But when they hold off, like I hold off. Like I don't think I'll be buying a copy of Scream 7 until I see a copy that has all the features I want, because I know it's coming. And you're not going to get me to spend like $100 just to get a feature that I want in the movie I want. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the thing too, Sean. They might only release it like, if they bring him back, or something that would be leaked, something they would try to hide. Maybe it is. I don't know. Sometimes like these, again, I'm going to feel negative and everything like that. But I know a lot of people are like, any physical media comes out, it's just like, oh my God, it looks so good. But I like to actually look at it and be like, does this look good though? Like, look at the Scream 4 Steelbook and then look at the Scream 7 and you're like, what are they doing? Like, I don't think that shot of Nev, like looking back, like standing in the middle of downtown or whatever, like we don't even get that shot in the movie. I don't know. It's weird. It's just like the Season of the Witch Steelbook that they put out last year, where I was like, this is just like stupid, like pastel crayons. And like, this just looks weird. Getting the basic 4K. Love the orange cover with the characters. Oh, are you talking about the regular poster that came out, Jason? Or are you talking about the version, the Halloween Kills version? Not buying if they don't include that scene. Might as well wait. Yes, Ben. Absolutely. I'm right there with you. The reason why it pisses me off, it's not because, I mean, I just think there's all this like, gosh, the punk rock side of me is going to come out, guys, and I'm going to sound like a weirdo horror fan. Don't get me wrong, I like having stuff. I like having the things that I like. I'm a collector as well. I've had to like, pull back on it and everything like that. And if you have the space and you have the means to like buy all this stuff, then like more power to you. And this is not at all any judgment on how anyone else spends their money. It does just bum me out, like for us, for humanity, that even though we're so aware of like how bad consumerism can be and how, we're worried about this thing controlling us or that thing controlling us, but man, these companies put out like, here's Scream 7, and then by the time Scream 8 comes out, here's the special edition. There are movies that no one even cares about, and then like, Vinegar Syndrome's gonna do like a big fatty 4K rescan of the negative, and it's a movie no one's talked about and no one has ever fucking cared about, and then boom, like the social media just blows up about, oh, this is like this great movie that no one ever talked about, and it's like, that kind of stuff. I'm just like, it just seems to appeal to like some very simple, very kind of basic instincts that we have, right? There's the whole FOMO thing. You don't want to be the only person to not get that special edition of Rumpelstiltskin. Like, God forbid you don't get Rumpelstiltskin on a fatty 4K box. I'm just using that as an example. So there's the FOMO side, and then there's just the side of making people feel like they have to buy every fucking thing that comes out. Like, where does it end? How many versions of Scream 7 do we need? And then you know, popcorn buckets, special cups, like just all this stuff where I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, can't we just be fans of the movies? Like, to me, the movie is the most important thing. And when I say the movie, I mean like the story, how it's captured, what the performances are like, what it makes me like feel or want to talk about, and how it is thought provoking. I'm not thinking like, fuck yeah, I got this fucking cool cup now. Last thing on my mind. But again, maybe that's just the punk rocker in me. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to jump on to, hey, what's happening, Val? Welcome on in. I know I'm very behind on the chat, but I'm going to jump to the front of the chat. If I missed any of your guys' questions, just let me know. It's I'm a half hour behind. So I'm going to jump to the very front, and then we'll see what you guys are saying. Shax SCB, I don't know why that took forever. Shax, what's happening? Says they've done that with the different versions of movies forever. It's true. Even with Blu-ray holding way more memory per disc. Yep. They just don't want it. They might not have the commentary done, but still, they could have done the commentary before the movie even came out to theaters. They could have sat them down in a room and had them do the commentary. Yeah. They're messing with us. They've done it forever. I bought a lot of versions of Jaws, but usually Jaws will actually add some special features or do a clean version of it, you know. So I've fallen victim to it when I was a kid, but Jaws is my favorite movie, and I wanted the best looking version I could get. Animal Song and Two Beds and a Coffee Machine are my favorite Savage Garden songs. Whoa, Savage Garden. Holy cow. How did that happen? The Scream... Oh, I like Scream Francis. The Scream franchise has luckily been pretty consistent on 4K of just having a slipcover edition and a steelbook edition, and that's it usually. Yeah. But I think this is... I don't even know what Scream 5 and 6, like what kind of special features they have on theirs. But yeah, it's... man, they just want you to keep on buying them. Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, no, last year that was the thing, Carrie. That was the thing. All of a sudden... Rumpelstiltskin, the movie no one cared about, was like a big deal because there was this fatty version of it, but then they put together this collector's edition that had even more stuff. And I'm like, dude, I remember seeing this movie at Blockbuster when I was a kid. No one has ever talked about this movie. But I mean, and that's the weird thing, guys. And I know I'm going to rub some people the wrong way. I'm not like a physical media content creator hater or anything like that. But I like the talk about the physical media as well as the talk about the art form of the storytelling. Does that make any sense? Like, physical media by itself doesn't do it for me. Like, if it's all about the collection side of it, I don't really care. But if it's the collection meets the fan, you know, like somebody like Christian from Planet CHH, like I dig that. Darren from Only Sans, like I dig that. They're talking about both, you know. Yeah, that's and I'm not trying to pick on poor Rumpelstiltskin, but man, it happens every year. It really does happen every year. God, you guys are really into the Savage Garden talk, huh? Usually I opt for a slipcover. Yeah, I mean, the slips are nice. They are nice. Get a dog to pee on his grave. Oh my gosh. I really want to know what you guys... Did anybody say something about... Let's see here. That's a super... Oh, the 260. Cool. I just wanted to make sure because it was 260. Sometimes the super stickers are like those different amounts. So I just wanted to make sure. Thank you so much, Nicholas. I really do appreciate it. Let's see here. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm going to have AI make a parody song of Mac the Knife called Jump the Knife. There you go. There you go. I want to know what you guys... Did you guys pick up on those Halloween Kills vibes from the one variant cover there? The UHD cover? I don't want to scroll through the chat just to try to find that. So, yeah, I don't know. Joshua says Kevin said in an interview that the stew scene. Well, yeah, we covered the stew scene and everything, but to not have it included on we're just talking about the fact that it's seemingly not included on the physical media release, which is a shame. If they actually filmed it, which they said they did, then we should be able to see it. Yeah, we really should. Absolutely, Aaron. That's the way to go. That is the way to go. And again, guys, it's no judgment on anyone else. Like, I know that the way I talk about it makes it sound super dismissive, like, oh, like, I hate these things, therefore if you buy them, I hate you. That's not what I'm saying. It is just this, like, I know that I don't need them. And it is this whole, like, you know, getting controlled by the dollar, like having them just like pull you by the dollar, you know what I mean? But whatever, it's really none of my business. I just get that feeling. Again, I grew up listening to a bunch of punk rock bands and all that kind of stuff, and just like and maybe some of you might be like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Just the whole like punk rock kind of ethic is a little bit of like, you know, not so many possessions, not so, you know, just sort of not giving in to the man, so to speak, you know. The orange colored one. All right, holy cow. The ladies, guys. The ladies in the chat are full on wussy 90s rock chat is what's going on here. So this should be interesting. Savage Garden. Oh my gosh, those guys. Listen, there was a point in my life, TBS would show Dawson's Creek 4 episodes every morning, and I got hooked. Oh my gosh. I've never seen an episode, not a whole episode. I mean, I'm sure I've seen like bits and pieces. Never seen a whole episode. Carrie says, I'm exhausted when it comes to Scream 7, but after seeing Puga Pillar's reaction to it, oh my God, I was cracking up. Who is Puga Pillar? Oh my goodness. I don't even know who these people are. Don't even know who these people are. I am still on. It's true. And what do you guys think? Scream 8 in the winter. Scream 8 in the winter. Let me know. What do you think? Little Christmas time vibe, right? Tatum's been away at college. She comes back. Little something goes down. What's happening, David? It is 8:50 right here in the Phoenix metro area. Aaron says, I'm a bit of a collector, but I don't have to have every little thing. I refuse to be manipulated to the point at which it's almost debilitating. There are people who are OCD about it. It's crippling. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Carrie says, wussy 90s rock? Excuse you, sir. Hey, I get to use the word wussy. Don't worry. It's okay. I mean, come on, guys. Savage Garden. Everyone knows those guys were more into each other than anyone they were singing about, right? I mean, come on. The writers for Scream 8 have only written a couple episodes for the shows they wrote for, and the most was 4, and that was Suits, which is a show about lawyers. Well, there you go. And then, you know, showrunners of Poker Face. So, guys, my understanding of what a showrunner is essentially a producer. So you step in for, typically a showrunner will work on a whole season of a show. Sometimes they work on multiple seasons, but at least, you know, that's kind of like the job is like, hey, you take care of this whole season. You work with all the writers and you help them, you know, write or finish their scripts or touch up their scripts or get it to where everything's congruent and everything's telling the story that you want to tell for that entire season. So they could have written technically for Poker Face, but more from the producer standpoint. So they might not get a writing credit, but a lot of times, guys, when you see a producer on a show, like Conan O'Brien was a producer on The Simpsons for a couple years. He has writing credits for a couple episodes that he wrote specifically, but he was writing for every single one that he produced on, even if it was just a joke or two. You know what I mean? So on Poker Face, they probably did some writing. I think the Poker Face credit is probably the credit of the Zuckerman sisters that makes me feel the best about them, based on everything I'm seeing, because show running isn't easy. It's, you know, it's a good example of the fact that they can work well with others, and the show is very successful. So that to me is like, okay, maybe they've got something here. Maybe they've got something. I'm not gonna fall off the negative deep end until I have reason to, but cautiously optimistic means that I don't have a reason to feel great. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of in the middle, and I'm hoping for the best and assuming it could be dreadful, or bracing myself for it to be dreadful. They were good at what they did. Yeah, no, that breathy vocal stuff, and no. Grunge is where it's at when it comes to wrestling theme entrances. Yeah, grunge can be really good. I think like a good metal song can be fun, right? Like depending on what it is. I think so. Man, if I were a wrestler, I'd go out to some punk. Like I'd go out to some ripping No Effects. Just some like just ripping, you know. Come on now. Pug like a puppy and Pillar put together. Okay. Never even heard of him. YouTube is just wild. He probably has 1.5 million subscribers and I've never heard of him. A Christmas scream would be cool. Something different. Yes. I mean, why the heck not? It's such an easy little, and again, it doesn't fix like the issues that a lot of people have, but it would be something a little different. And then you do, 2 or 3 big swings with the story, and you're looking at the most courageous entry in the franchise from a creative standpoint. So, yeah. I also might have written an 80-page DC fanfic. Ooh, Dawson's Creek, you're saying. Not Detective Comics, I'm guessing, Linda. I'm a huge collector, but I only get movies I love, man. I really pared it back on collecting. I'm just like, so many things are at our fingertips. I don't worry about like, oh, am I never going to be able to see this again? Like, I just try not to worry about that kind of stuff. But yeah, if I were in a different position, like just in general in my life, maybe I would feel different about all that kind of stuff. So what I love about it is that the people that are really hardcore collectors, like I know some of the folks, out there in the YouTube sphere, I've been able to like work with them and chat with them and stuff like that. And they're all really cool people. They're really passionate about what they do. And I think one of the benefits of being able to watch their shows is I do get to kind of live vicariously through them. So when Garrett from Born to Be Rad does his videos or has his pictures posted of what his movie room looks like, I just get to sit there and be like, oh my God, that is so awesome. Like, it's not even, there's no jealousy, but there's this like I can still enjoy like the, what that vibe is like. So I dig it. Soundgarden's pretty, yeah, they had some good stuff. I like the earlier Soundgarden, like the more kind of shreddy metal kind of Soundgarden. Yeah. Like Rusty Cage, that kind of stuff. No, don't get me wrong, Super Unknown's got some good tracks on it, but Soundgarden got like pretty they just got a little safe sounding there. Let's see here. Tia says there's a great documentary on Tubi about showrunners. That's pretty awesome. That's like such a niche kind of thing, huh? That's cool though. I like that because I just got an idea of what it was. Watching or listening to Simpsons commentaries, they talk about the showrunners on those commentaries because usually the showrunner is involved with the entire season. They'll jump on those commentaries. So that's kind of where I gained a little bit of that knowledge. There is that really cool South Park documentary where they're, it just kind of shows the madness behind the scenes of them making an episode. So kind of get an idea of that because I think, Trey and Matt are pretty much show running every season, Ben says my mom really likes Savage Garden. I mean, they've got the melodies are pleasing. It's very inoffensive music, pretty wussy too, at the same time. I don't hate Savage Garden, but it's not my vibe. If I want something that's like sensitive and 2 dudes, I'm going Tears for Fears. Now I know they have a whole band behind them and everything, but it's like, they're the 2 that write the music, right? Like old sun, won't you come? Kay Catchy says, so down for a Scream Christmas/winter flick, but could you imagine those frigid Ghostface phone calls? Well, see, Ghostface would have some long johns on. Yeah, you got a long john it, right? Yeah. Hello, Sydney. You got any hand warmers, man? Picking up hot chocolate from the what's Sydney's coffee shop called? Something about a latte. Fashionably latte. No, I know it's not that, but fashionably male. Let's see here. They only have one writing credit for one episode of Poker Face. But if they show ran Joshua, they, I'm sure they. Well, you wouldn't know what they wrote, but if they show ran, they are helping to write episodes that they wouldn't be credited for sure. And it might just be like, the writer's like, I got most of this episode figured out. I don't know what to do here, or we need something here. The showrunners would jump in and figure that out with the writers. At least that's my understanding. I'm not a showrunner, but that is my understanding. Up All Night by Slaughter. Yes. How about a little poison? A little poison to walk into. Paula, what's happening, Paula? I think I might have seen a chat from you when I scrolled all the way down to the bottom. Thanks so much for joining us, Paula. Hope you're doing well. Ooh, Simon & Garfunkel's great. I do love some Simon & Garfunkel. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Scream's biggest problem is being paint by numbers predictable. Dude, you are not kidding. Holy crap. And that's the thing, is when I say big swings, it doesn't take much in this franchise. Shax, I know you're relatively new here. Thanks for hanging out with us. One of the big things I've been saying about Scream lately, with 7 coming out, and we're talking about the whole franchise, is like, it's been consistently good, which is great. However, it's been a little too consistent on like the formula side, right? So that's what I was saying about Scream, is it's like the valleys don't go too deep. I don't think the peaks reach very high. Like, I think the first movie kind of has like most of the peaks. And I like this. I do really enjoy the sequels. Like 4 and 2 are my favorite sequels. Like, that's my top 3, 1, 4, and 2. And I'm not poo-pooing on those movies or anything. I'm just saying that, like, compared to the heights that like the Halloween franchise reach, or Friday the 13th, like, I think those are some pretty special heights in those franchises. Yes, the valleys are very low. Not saying that like across the board it's better, but I would rather have a franchise that takes chances, hits it out of the park sometimes totally misses, than a franchise that doesn't take any chances. And when you look back at it, you're like, it's good, but it's just sort of there. And I think that's the risk that Scream is running, honestly. And with every release that they don't push the envelope, they risk tainting the legacy. And legacy is something that, guys, we don't really know right now. Legacy is something that's always developing as the years go on. What I mean to say is that we're in the thick of it with Scream right now. What if Scream were to... So let's say Scream ends after Scream 8 and that's it. Franchise is done. Or, maybe it gets rebooted in 10, 15, 20 years or something like that. When we look back on this original run, is it like, yeah, Ghostface will be like iconic, all that kind of stuff, but are people really going to passionately talk about the Scream movies the way that they can passionately talk about Jason Lives or Dream Warriors, or even the bad movies in the franchise, the way that we rip on Freddy's Dead or Halloween Resurrection? I don't know. I think that's the trouble that Scream is running into. Is it gonna, in time, become unremarkable? Some people would argue that right now Scream is unremarkable, and that it has been unremarkable for years. And I don't think that's not fair to say. I still love the franchise and everything, and I enjoy a lot of these movies. 5 and 6, I'm sort of like, not too jazzed on, but I don't think they're bad. But, to take a step back and be like, yeah, you guys are right. Like when Frank Riker's like, this franchise needs to try some things. I think, Frank likes to take it to the, really talk some smack about Scream, because it's fun. It's fun to do that when you don't like something. I totally get it, but I don't think he's necessarily like wrong. Like, or at least I want the same thing that Frank would like to see from Scream, and he doesn't even like the franchise. Like, I want to see from the franchise, and I've been watching it and enjoying it since 1996. So there you go. Used to write Buffy, Angel, and Dawson's Creek. Dude, Linda, I want to read some. I would love to read like some Buffy. If you've got something that's Buffy fan fiction that you feel comfortable sharing with me, is it all naughty fan fiction? Someone pared back my whole collection, those motherfuckers. Yeah, man, that's the other thing too, is you can lose that stuff. It can get damaged. I got to the point in my life where I was moving quite a bit, and I was like, man, I just can't carry all this shit with me everywhere I go. Every time I move somewhere else, I can't, it can't be a 3-day process of moving all my movies and shit and worrying about all that stuff being in perfect condition, you know? Anytime I need to see your face, I close my eyes, taken away to a place where your crystal mind and magenta feelings take up shelter in base of my spine, sweet like Chica Cherry Cola. Ooh, what is that? What is that, Jiggy? Like Sugar Ray, their old more metals. Yeah, Sugar Ray had some metal stuff. What was it, Brownies and Lemonade? Is that first record they've got? It's so funny. So Brownies and Lemonade sounds gross, by the way. So I think it's kind of a funny title. But the cover of that album, you would not think that is, and it's an early Sugar Ray release. You would not think that was going to be a metal record. Just look it up. I'm not going to try to describe it. Just look it up. I am going live tomorrow, Antonis. Yeah, I've already built that stream, guys. We're doing so live tomorrow, best horror movie of every year from 1980 through 1999. So similar to what we did last Wednesday with 2000 through 2025, I'm going to give you guys 4 movies to vote on for every year. And we're going to have like a 2-minute timer for you guys to vote. So it's going to be really interactive. And what we're going to do after we do all of these rounds of voting for best horror movie of the year, we're going to do like a big old tier maker ranking. Or some sort of bracket. I feel more comfortable with the tier maker ranking, but we'll see. I'll put it up to you guys. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know if my parents know, because my parents are boomers. They're they're literally baby boomers. You know, they're in their mid 70s. I don't think they would know who Savage Garden is. Maybe they would recognize the song though. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Dirt's really good too. Ooh, Vitology, that's a good pick. That's a cool deep cut pick. I'm just such a fan of 10. Like I just can't get past 10. But I totally get you. Like Vitology has a really cool I just like how rough it sounds. Did they record that one themselves? I know some of their records they did by themselves, and like Spin the Black Circle's really good. Better Man, that's a really good song. Yeah. It would still be California, so a hot Christmas. What? No, not necessarily, because they're living in Indiana now, right? So Tatum comes home from school. So maybe Tatum goes to college in New York or something like that and comes home to Indiana. Yeah, because Scream 7 takes place in Indiana, so they'd have a true winner. You know, like you could even put it in the middle of a storm, because I don't know, guys in the Midwest, if you're in the Midwest, let me know. I'd imagine Indiana would be affected by some of the lake effect weather that I think it, impacts all of those states in the Midwest that are around the Great Lakes. So I'd imagine, I know Indiana gets cold, pretty damn cold. So yeah, you could totally do it that way. Whole lot of latte. You can literally freeze your pecker off where I'm at. Could be some interesting death scenes. Oh, what about frozen blood spilling out of somebody, in the Thing where they find the Norwegian crew or whatever when they go to their base and they see the frozen blood. Like, it is a really disturbing, gripping kind of imagery. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I love it. I would have a latte right now. Guys, I had a coffee before I came in here. So I had dinner and a coffee. So I'm all wired and ready to go. Come and stand a little bit closer. Breathe in a little bit higher. You never know what hit you when I get to you. I'm just making it up now. It's fun though. I like it. It's fun. If I can grab onto a little bit of a melody at the beginning, I'm not saying that they're the most catchy tunes I'm singing, but it's fun. Yeah, it is fun. There you go. Linda coming through. Linda is coming through. Antona says, did you like Scary Movie when you did the watch party? I liked it a little bit more than I haven't seen it, Antonis. That was the first time in 25 years, or shortly after it came out, like on DVD. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. All the negative stuff I have to say about it's still there, but I laughed more than I thought I would, for sure. So I mean, you guys always make it fun hanging out, and you were sweet enough to make it happen with a super chat goal. So I'm not going to complain. How about that? I'd rather be in California with the beaches, warm weather, not dressing like a marshmallow. Well, yeah, no, I get what you mean. California just kind of a mess, though. It's like, it's fun to visit. I'll say that. It's fun to visit. But you could be here in Arizona where it is 9 o'clock. It's finally dark out. It says it's 81, but man, when I was out there, it feels like 76. Okay, cool. Well, after the stream, I'll be able to crack my window and get some cool air in here, because it has already been hot and humid here. Shaq says, I like chances, but not, oh my gosh. There we go. I like chances, but not too crazy like Halloween Ends. See, I love Halloween Ends. It's my favorite sequel in the Halloween franchise. So, but I get you. I totally understand that people don't dig the way that they approached that trilogy, or the way that they ended it, So I get it. I would rather see something closer to Halloween. Like, I think Scream 7 is kind of the Halloween Ends of the franchise so far, because the fandom is split. People are it feels like people have dug in on their opinions, almost like it is a political, aside from the obvious, Melissa Barrera stuff and all that. Like, I just mean opinion on the film. People are digging in as if it's something that's like deeply personal, and maybe they are bringing in some of that outside stuff. That's totally, I think that could be happening on both sides. For the people that don't like the movie, for the people that like the movie, they could be pulling in some of those social or political allegiances or whatever. I think we all can kind of do that subconsciously to a degree, right? So I would rather see something like Halloween Ends. I would rather see those chances be taken, because I think that even though with Scream 7 kind of being the Halloween Ends of the franchise, like, the more I examine it, the more I find that I really do like about Scream 7. And I like the ending. I really dig it. I totally get the motivation for the killers. I don't have an issue with the motivation of the killers. I like that they're not completely random, but I like that they're not directly connected to anyone from the past and all that stuff. Like, we've seen that so much in this franchise. I was relieved that they did something different with the killers, right? So I think that kind of ties into the Halloween Ends thing too, because they went a totally different direction on the whole killer thing, and it didn't jive with a lot of people. Taint, 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 taint. And I said, don't kick me in the taint. That's my country song. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? What am I doing? It seems like Scream only takes mini risks. Dewey dies in 5, no Nev in 6, but for every mini risk, they do multiple safe things. Yeah, they don't fully commit, do they? Nope. I don't know if they know how. And whenever they do one of those mini risks, Aaron, and obviously this is my opinion, straight out of the mouth of Davey Deathray, anytime they do take one of those mini risks, it just seems like throwing everything at the wall, hoping one of these things sticks. Like, well, what if we do this? Like, yeah. Killing Dewey when they did, rough stuff. Oh, are you talking about Scream? I think a lot of the Scream kills are kind of samey. Trying to think, in this one, they like in 7, they've got a couple creative kills, right? Like Ghostface is trying a little bit harder than just stabbing, Bring it on. I would really like to see it. Let's see here. That's true too. That's true. There's not as much of the examination or parody of what Hollywood is doing with horror at that time. Usually the movies have some sort of commentary on the you know, current state of horror. Yeah, Scream 7 didn't have that. I don't even think Scream 6 had it. I'll give Scream 5 credit for keeping that like as a part of it, but the only way Scream 6 really has that is, you know, because Richie was making his own movies and the family gets brought into it and stuff, but they're really not, there's not something that they're saying about modern horror in Scream 6 or 7. So I'll be fair on there. Giles in drag singing Santa Baby? What are you doing to Giles? You know that Giles would never get in drag, right? Or oh, Willow put him under a spell. Ooh, I bet that's what happened, Linda. Because I know Giles would never do it. You know, he's so like prim and proper. Oh, love Giles. Santa Baby. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, Goo Goo was, yeah, they used to be like pop punk. They used to be like, you know, I think, what are they from like upstate New York, I think, but they have that Minneapolis sound. Like Goo Goo, the early stuff's got that like a Soul Asylum, early Soul Asylum kind of sound. Replacements, you know, that kind of vibe. Yeah, the early Goo Goo stuff was way different, and I think the bassist sang like a bunch of the songs too. Well, almost like a totally different band, really. It's kind of wild how that works. You know, a band will break out and no one knows about their former identity, you know. Yeah, you know what, Shax, where were you? Welcome on in, man. I hope you're having fun with our silly Death Squad crew here. But yeah, we talk about Scream quite a bit. Maybe not as much as, you know, certain other channels, but because I just like to keep things mixed up. But oh, we will talk Scream 8 more and more and more. I know, what the heck? I got it before Davey. Woohoo, Davey can suck it. I don't. Oh, gotcha. The link to the goods, to the fanfic goods. Just because I'm singing don't mean I'm not paying attention now. Exactly. Who do we know that lives in Indiana? I don't know if we have anyone that lives in Indiana. Oh, wait, there we go. Aaron, are you in Indiana? I think so. I think Aaron's in Indiana. I'm not like, I don't know for sure. It just feels like Aaron's either mentioned it before or I've seen something. I don't know. Hot, humid, moist, all three. Midnight here in Florida with 80% humidity. Holy crap. Ugh. Oh, you're out there in San Antonio? Is it getting hot already out for you guys too? I bet it is. I just want beaches. I don't care where. There you go. Have you guys heard that song, Lake Beach, the SNL parody song? It cracks me up because out here in Arizona, there are a lot of lake beaches. Like there's a lot of man-made lakes, right? So people take their boats out or they just go to the beach. Yeah, Lake Beach. If you guys have not seen that SNL, it is so funny. The moistest of the moist. So moist, it's getting puffy and rubbing up on. What am I talking about? They needed to give the Ghostfaces more character development. I think they could have done that for sure. That's true. Jessica could have been in more. Maybe she is on the. Maybe it's, you know, just got edited out because the movie is almost 2 hours long. But yeah, there could obviously there are things like I could, you know, I've already kind of picked apart the things, you know, on previous streams and videos and all that stuff. But yeah, Scream 7, you know, it's in the middle of my ranking. There are things that it could have done better that would have, you know, brought it up probably a little bit closer to the top of the ranking. Yeah, Jessica should have been more scenes. Maybe let some of the kids live until the end. Maybe. You know, and live until the end. Like, let's leave some red herrings out there, you know, something like that. Let's see what else we got here. Taint Misbehavin'. There was a band in Portland called Taint Misbehavin'. Yeah. And maybe some of, like, even if it was just a scene or two that got cut out, because, like, yeah, Mickey's not in Scream 2 very much, and he's kind of like an main ensemble guy. Like Debbie Salt, you know, Mrs. Loomis not being in it a lot is okay because she's a brand new and a side character, whereas Mickey is like part of our crew. you know, so Mickey could have been in it a lot more. Like Mickey might be in it just about as much as Jessica. It's probably pretty close as far as time on screen, you know. Dang, minus 15 Celsius? Sean, whereabouts? I know you're in Canada, as I like to call it. Canada, you know, if you want to pronounce it perfectly. Wait, you must be, are you like up pretty north? Are you in Saskatchewan? Because I know you've asked me about Saskatoon, but you got to be up north if it's 15 Celsius, right? That's got to be pretty cold. Let's see here. Or what is it? Probably 30s or 40s in Fahrenheit, something like that. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Goo Goo Dolls are my favorite band of all time, says Linda. There you go. All right. And Aaron is a Hoosier. There we are, living in that Hoosier state. Prince says Housemaid sequel confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, The Housemaid was the most boring, well-made movie I've ever seen in a really long time. Like, it bored the fuck out of me. But you know, got to see Sydney Sweeney almost naked. Whatever. Yeah. When you said you want the beaches at first, I said, Carrie just wants the bitches. And Carrie can't wait for the Housemaid sequel. There you go. I think there's a whole bunch of books already. So if it does well, then there you go. Yeah, Paul Feig can just make these like well-made movies that are just kind of inconsequential. Just stay away from Ghostbusters or any other franchise. Paul, you and your stupid suits that you wear when you direct. Yeah, that's right. I'm going after Paul Feig. I am. Because he started out so solid in his career, and then he just turned into, I don't know what he turned into, just making everything about like identity politics shit with that Ghostbusters. Anytime I see, like, I saw somebody like doing a breakdown of that movie and they show all of his interviews, and I know half of you guys are probably like, I can't stand when Davey talks about this stuff, but oh my god, the incessant shit that he would say in these interviews because his movie didn't do well, and he refuses to believe that it has anything to do with the movie. He is like talk about delusional. He's like it was the 2016 election ruined my movie. Like, Paul, shut the fuck up and go home. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I know I probably lost half the audience. Maybe I'll get some people on replay. What's happening, Mark? How are you doing, man? Thank you so much for jumping on in. Thank you so much for being a channel member too, man. Really do appreciate you. Like, Mark, you missed it. I went on my physical media rant. Now, a little bit of a, well, not even that. It's not even a physical media rant. It's a, they make us feel like we need to buy fucking everything rant. What's with the FOMO? No more FOMO. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst is good. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, there won't be in a sequel, if you've seen the movie, you know that in the sequel there won't be as much. There are like some surprising story elements in the first story, you know, as far as like there are some twists and turns, but now that you like, after you see that first movie, it's almost like this series is going to turn into just like a, hey, can you come take out my mean husband? You know, and then like Sydney Sweeney shows up and like infiltrates the family and finds a way to get rid of, you know what I mean, the evil husband. And I'm like, okay, like, is that just, I'm sure the books add in other elements to make things, you know, more entertaining and all that stuff. But yeah, the first Housemaid movie, it was just, I was so bored. And then at the point where I was ready for the movie to be over, because like they had completed all their arcs, and I felt like there was 20 minutes of seriously just waiting for them to like just do the thing that everyone knew was coming. Okay. You're talking, okay, so right after that first attack where Carl gets killed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and that seems like, that seemed sort of shoehorned in, but even them talking at the cafe, like it would have been cool, like honestly, and walking and talking isn't always the best mechanism for for stories or for scene building and all that. Like George Lucas leaned on it for his prequel movies, and those are, I mean, how much walking and talking happens in those movies. But a scene with Sid and Jessica like taking a walk in the neighborhood, kind of mirroring Tatum and her friends walking in the neighborhood, also an homage to the Halloween with the girls walking in the neighborhood, and having a moment where with her and Jessica that isn't a heavy moment, where they are, maybe it starts out talking about the kids, but then they chuckle and then they start joking about their youth, or you know what I mean? Like sometimes we just need those scenes in movies where it's like, it doesn't all have to be like, it all helps put together the story, but not every single scene needs to be like so frigging integral or like heavy-handed. Like you can have these really lighthearted moments just to if anything, especially with Jessica, make us feel as an audience member, like make us see, oh, Sydney feels safe with her or is less guarded around her, or like, ooh, if she is the killer, that would be such a backstab. But without those moments, it just doesn't feel as well earned, which I think is a totally legit criticism. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and the really dumb thing about the AI, like they should have, if you're going to do it AI, if you're going to say it's AI, make it look like AI. It was just straight up completely realistic looking because it was actually the actors. There's nothing about it that looked like sus, which it really should have, right? When we see stuff now, you're like, is that real or is that not real? Sometimes it's not very obvious, but usually there's something going on. And they just kind of skate right past that with Ben saying something about like, oh yeah, look, there's no, like the shadows match and there's no like clipping or whatever he says about it, and then moving on. But it looks so realistic, so realistic. Anyone here like the Germs or X? X's first two albums are punk classic. I never got into the Germs, but I do think X is fucking great, dude. I really dig X quite a bit. Female lead vocal, but also a male vocal in there, which I really dig. That Los Angeles record is so good. Ray Manzarek, I think, produced the first couple X records. I don't even know. Does X did they only have those first two, or did they keep on going? But man, when you got a member of the Doors helping you produce your record, especially that, I think Los Angeles particularly, man, that record rips. I'm also, Aaron, I'm a huge, got Stiff Little Fingers. Oh my gosh. Those guys talk about ahead of their time. So good. So good. When the stars are shining in the velvet sky, I'll make a wish and send it to heaven, make you wanna cry, tears of joy. See, it doesn't always work. You know what I mean? Like if I don't have the iambic pentameter, like if I don't know the rhythm, it all falls apart. So there we go. I'm not even gonna finish that one. I didn't, there was nothing about it that was offensive. I thought it was pretty boring. But, I think maybe it's different, if you're a lady watching a movie like The Housemaid. I think that's totally fair too. Yeah, I can't stand Paul Feig. He is seriously like, my Ghostbusters movie didn't do well because of the 2016 election. Like, oh my gosh, you have an ego problem if you really think that is your movie was so important to people that felt one way about it's just like, oh my gosh, dude, no, your movie was just bad. It's okay. You made a bad movie, Paul. I haven't, but that looks interesting to me. Yeah, that does. I think that was at South by Southwest. I don't think it's out yet. Is Forbidden Fruits out yet? I don't know if it is. Yeah, well, it's a shame too, because I really like Heavyweights. I really like Freaks and Geeks. And then, I mean, there's just Bridesmaids. Like, there's been movies he's made that I really like. That's why I know it's a Paul Feig thing and that it's not, you know, that, and that's what it leads to the bigger disappointment, you know, that he would try to, you know, blaming your movie failing on like, oh, well, people just didn't see it because of their politics. I just, no. Nope. I've never seen any of the Cruel Intentions or Dangerous Liaisons or anything like that. Did they reboot Cruel Intentions? Did they do like a TV show or something? I think they might have. Well, and it's not even that, Antonis. It's not, to me, it's not like whether or not I agree with, like, I don't even care what his politics are. I just notice that he's let it spill over into like he's like he's allowed his mind to be like, no, it's not that my movie's bad, it's that all these people are wrong and attacking me. That's the thing I have the issue with. Just own your L, bro. But yeah, I don't, you know, I just know that sometimes whenever you venture into something like that, like you could lose people or just turn people off. Need a Swim Fan sequel. I've never saw Swim Fan. Is that Ben? I think, is that one of those early like online horror movies? Is Swim Fan like a screen name kind of thing? Is it one of those? Is it some sort of catfish, online catfish kind of movie? Like I know the name sounds familiar. I never saw the movie. Bette Midler and Barbara Hershey. Is that what it is? Swim Fan? Really? Paul Feig was hyperbolic. We'll say Ghostbusters movie wasn't as bad as people would have you believe. I think people had their pitchforks out before. Well, the trailer was so bad. Like the trailer's jokes were, to me, kind of offensively bad. When you, like, I think I've said this before, a lot of the jokes, you have to create a world filled with hatred for the joke to make sense. Which I think is a weird thing to do. There's the one joke in particular from the trailer where Leslie Jones like jumps off the stage to do like stage diving and everyone backs away and she like falls, right? And she's like, I don't know if this is a woman thing or a race thing, but that's messed up. And I'm like, okay, so what did you do? Write that joke backwards? Like you knew, you're like, oh, we need something where Leslie says this. And so you create this weird, like, and maybe it makes sense in the context of the movie, but they put it in their trailer. So if you're putting it in your trailer, like you really believe in the joke just as it is, right? You're putting it in the trailer. So I was just like, wow, you create a racist, sexist concert so you can have your joke. That's weird. That's a weird way to like write a joke. It definitely gives, you know, it definitely gives you an idea of how Paul Feig feels, you know? So I guess I'm not surprised. And I think, yeah, I think people had their pitchforks out because of how bad the trailer was. I don't think it was the idea that it was like only people that voted for Hillary Clinton went and saw the Ghostbusters. Like, I don't, like, that's a crazy leap to take. Like, that is Paul Feig feeling very self-important, like a bit too self-important. It's just a bad movie. Oh, it is like Cruel Intentions. Oh, if it is. Hey, what's happening, Nanette? Great to see you. Nanette's got a new picture. Sweet little, is that a yellow lab you've got there, Nanette? Sweet little puppy. Housemaid is more like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much because there's some different layers to the story. Like the story in and of itself is not like a bad story. I just wasn't very entertained by the movie, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think like there are some twists and turns that you might enjoy. If it were 20 minutes shorter, I would have a lot of nicer things to say about it. That's for sure. Dang, only laughed once. Ooh. Yeah, I don't like movies that just seem like they're completely improvised. Writing is, yeah, you should write your jokes. Write your jokes, some wiggle room on the improv. But that movie has this sense of like nothing was really written. It was just sort of like, we're going to rely on these funny women. And I think most of them are pretty funny. Like I think Kate McKinnon and Kristen Wiig are absolutely hilarious. Melissa's funny sometimes, and Leslie Jones has made me laugh a couple times. But I've never really understood like the fact that Leslie Jones was on SNL, like really was a head scratching thing, because usually when you get on SNL, you have to be like one of the funniest people like in the country, right? It's like you have to be really, really damn funny, and you have to bring characters. Usually, like you have to bring characters, and you have to be one of the most hilarious people out there. And I feel with Leslie, she doesn't even come close to reaching any of those marks, which is a shame. It's a shame, because SNL should be known for having quality performers. Even if the people don't go on to make good movies, usually the performers are solid when they're on the show. You know what I mean? Let's see what you guys got going on here. What is the last movie that made you cry, Davey? I know mine was Bridge to Terabithia. But I love Anna Sophia Robb, has grown over the years. Same with Josh Hutchinson. Gosh, Anna Sophia Robb. I would have to look at her to see even if I remember what she looks like. I did see Bridge of Terabithia in the theater because I used to do respite work in Juneau. I worked with some adults with developmental disabilities, and one of the guys I worked with, he loved movies. Oh my gosh. I could talk about movies with this one client, like in a way that I couldn't talk about movies with a lot of people. Like he really, really knew his stuff. It was like, that was like his huge passion. And it was like the thing where like we could sit there and talk about Rock and Roll High School or Halloween or like so many different movies. It was so much fun. We saw Bridge to Terabithia together. The last movie that made me cry, Godzilla -1 made me tear up. It did. Maybe a couple times. Cry though? Oh man. One time I was hungover in the early 2000s and I watched Man on the Moon, the Milos Forman film with Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman, and that made me cry like a baby. And I had seen it many times before and it had never made me that emotional, but I was hungover. It's a lot easier to be emotional when you're hungover. So that's the last movie that I remember making me like cry, like bawl, like a little baby. Yeah. Sydney Sweeney is one of my girl crushes, so I have to show her some love. She's a cutie. And I think like, I've only seen her in a few movies. Really liked her in Immaculate. I really dug that. Like, I think she's pretty solid. I love that she produces as well. I think that's my favorite part of Sydney Sweeney as a performer, that she puts the money where the mouth is, and that she's like wants to invest and be, not just an actress. So I really dig that. And she's beautiful and all that stuff. That much is obvious, and I don't need to say it. You know what I mean? Several more records. Yeah, dude. Stiff Little Fingers. The one I'm trying to think. I can't remember the name of the album I'm thinking of right now. It's been a little bit since I've listened to it, but man, I am going to rock that when I'm done here. Molly Ringwald shows her boobies in The Breakfast Club. In that The Breakfast Club money dried up. Show their boobies in that. Wait, are you talking about another movie that I totally missed? Maybe you are. Does Molly Ringwald went topless? I did not even know. Kurt says Scream 7 grows on you, to be honest, after you get over the whole Stu is not alive thing and it was AI. Yeah, I'm cool with them not being alive, but yeah, the AI could have looked more AI. Give me some glitchy bitchy shit, you know what I mean? Thanks for hanging out with us, Kurt. Appreciate you, man. So you didn't like A Simple Favor? Both of them? I don't know. I don't know what A Simple Favor is. I do not know. Paul Feig cried his way into having his movie added in with the Ghostbusters collection. Did they threw it in there? Interesting. I didn't know that they acknowledged it at all. I thought they just like totally went by that. X gonna give it to you. Yeah. Oh, DMX is great. But seriously, guys, just X. Really, really good stuff. Like definitely a punk rock band, but it's like late 70s, early 80s, right? So, you know, it's relatively tame compared to the way things went, you know, with hardcore and stuff like that in the 80s. So very, I think, accessible. You know, go back, check out that Los Angeles record. Very accessible if you enjoy like rock music of any type. I think you would enjoy on that. Yeah. Yeah, he did some episodes, just a few episodes of The Office. Yeah, I mean, you can't really mess that up, right? He's directing a documentary sitcom. So yeah, he didn't like write them or anything like that. I thought he was hilarious in Heavyweights, though. I think that's like my favorite Paul Feig performance. And then my favorite directing is, you know, just everything he did for Freaks and Geeks. I think that show is one of the most, it's just such a bummer that the show didn't get to continue on. I'm not going to say that it's one of the most underrated shows. I think it has a lot of love now, but it is such a shame that we didn't get more Freaks and Geeks. I really like, you know, I like those characters through and through. I think by the end of the season, you're really curious and invested in what's going to happen with them next, especially the way the last episode ends. So it is a bummer that we never got, you know, another chapter of that story, but still, you know, that first season of Freaks and Geeks is solid. The only negative is that there's no more to enjoy. Never watched the TV show of Cruel Intentions, just the first one, because Ryan Felipe is like, oh my God, I want to dry hump the floor kind of hot, says Carrie. Holy cow, dry hump the floor? What, like scooch around like a dog trying to scratch its butt? Is that that is what I'm picturing, because that's the only way I could see that even like being, you know, feasible, I would say, to dry hump the floor. Oh my gosh, Carrie. Oh my gosh. Swim Fan is like Fatal Attraction, I would say. Is it the internet movie? I might have totally missed that. Yeah. But I do agree with you, Aaron. Like, people did go after that one. And I'm sure there are people that are like, it's a bunch of chicks, and that's the reason why they didn't want to see it. Definitely that contingent of people are out there. For sure. But, you know, we just saw, like, with Scream 7, there was a whole contingent of Scream fans out there that were dedicated to actively boycotting and ruining the movie, and it broke $200 million. So it's like, so I think the Ghostbusters thing, it's like, yeah, it sucks that element's there. But I don't think I think the movie still could have been successful if it, you know, did its job. Let me see here. Ryan saying, Carrie, it was so much fun watching your Scream commentary videos. Can't wait for you to do Scream 7. Yeah, guys, Carrie's got a channel. You can check it out. They did do a Cruel Intentions TV show. Okay, and I think they brought over the kid that was in, that plays the chef in Halloween Resurrection. He's one of these 3 named actors, and I can't remember his name. Oh my gosh. There's a couple 3 named actors in Halloween Resurrection. Oh, he's in not another teen movie because he plays the guy that's already at the party when the token black guy is like, there's already a black guy at this party, and he's like, oh, sorry, damn, that's whack, all that kind of stuff. Sean Patrick Thomas, Sean something like that. Did one of you guys say it? Sean Patrick Thomas, Sean something, not Sean Patrick Flannery, Sean Thomas Smith, something, something like that. Anyways, oh my gosh, you guys are pulling out the deep cuts. Yes, yeah, and yeah, Brandon. His name is Brendan. What's his name? Brandon. It's on the tip of my tongue because I wanted to make sure, like, after seeing Drop, because he's in Drop. Sklenar, I think is his last name. Brandon Sklenar. He's really good. He is a solid actor, man. And yeah, I mean, he's total, like, if you're into dudes, like, oh my God, like that guy's probably going to be for you. And especially, like, even after seeing him in Drop, Aaron, I was like, that guy would make a really good Wolverine. He just had this look where I was like, I can see him as Wolverine. And then in The Housemaid, you know, he wears like the tucked in like wife beater tank top kind of thing or whatever. And I guess you can call it a wife beater in this sense when we're talking The Housemaid. But you know, he's tucked into his jeans and I'm like, he's basically Wolverine right now. Like, I think he would be such a good Logan. But yeah, eye candy for everyone. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember you saying that, Tia. Yeah, you know, it is like, it's a beautiful, interesting thing, the way that different movies affect us, you know? And that you never know. You know what? You never know when a movie's going to make you kind of bring you to that point. Like, I didn't expect Godzilla -1 to make me like tear up. And there might have been some other movie I've seen recently. I can't remember that. It didn't make me tear up, but it made me, I was like, man, this movie's trying to make me cry. And it's like, and it is very emotional. And I can't remember what. I've seen way too many movies. Way too many. But I don't think it was anything like super recent. It was maybe like 5 or 6 months ago. It was Silent Night, Deadly Night, guys. I was on the verge of tears. It was just so emotional. Let's see here. What else do we got? Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah. I think I did as well. Yeah, I love that movie. I'm a huge Andy Kaufman guy. Project Hail Mary was really good. Yeah, it's such a good feel-good movie, huh? Like, it definitely has like those emotional pull moments that felt really, really good to watch in the theater. It is just like a throwback to like a 90s movie that leaves you feeling hopeful, you know, and it's got tense moments and emotional moments, but it doesn't ever get so serious that you can't leave feeling good. Yeah, Project Hail Mary it's the type of movie we really haven't seen in a long time, you know, from Hollywood. Just like the kind of vibe it had. Again, I probably said it a few times before, but you know, it's got this Zemeckis, Reiner, kind of Spielberg even, you know, kind of thing. Just kind of like when I say Zemeckis, I guess I'm thinking Forrest Gump, like this story that it's kind of an epic tale as far as like the length of the story. And it's got, you know, this way of just having all the drama, you know, not everything is hunky dory, but also, yeah, just leaving you feeling good about everything. Yeah. Project Hail Mary. Good shit. Any idea when that new Day of the Dead 4K is coming out, Davey? Oh my gosh, I should. I mean, I have to get that thing. But I can't remember the date off the top of my head, Sean. So let me jump on over to the Google. Yes, we will go to the Google. Let's see here. Day of the Dead 4K. So, release date from Scream Factory, June. So I got to get an order in on this one. I wonder if they have a price set here. I'm just curious. It doesn't look like they've got, not on the site that I'm at anyways. But yeah, guys, Day of the Dead. Oh my gosh. If you've not seen that movie, it is my favorite zombie movie of all time. I fucking love Day of the Dead. The final girls when the mom goes to die made me feel emotions. Dude, they play it really well, especially for a movie that's essentially a horror comedy. Yeah, the emotional impact of that, bringing back the Betty Davis Eyes song and them like running at each other, and they really do handle it well. That movie is pretty impressive at like everything they're able to do within the confines of that movie, and they're able, at least for me, like they were able to have all of it work. You're doing a slasher, you're a comedy, you're self-aware in certain ways, and then you've got this emotional side of the story as well, that has a way more, like a way bigger impact than like than you would think the movie would ever be able to pull off. I think that's kind of what you're getting at there, Ben, that it's just, you know, you don't necessarily expect, after having watched the entirety of the Final Girls, you don't expect them to end on this emotional moment that just really lands like Simone Biles in the Summer Olympics. Oh my gosh, yeah. Poor Andy. Just one of the funniest people ever. Just so absurd, but I love it. I love it. You're all good, Linda. We are actually going to wrap up, guys. We are going to wrap up because we're just over 2 hours. And I am going to, let's see here, save my voice a little bit because we're going to be live tomorrow night, guys. So tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, we are going to jump on and you guys are going to vote on the best horror movie of every year from 1980 through 1999. You'll get 4 options for every year. I'm saving all the winners. We're going to do like a tier maker ranking list or maybe do some big bracket kind of thing, which could be kind of fun to see who wins out of the, you know, the best of the best, as it were. So we're going to be diving into that tomorrow. Guys, if you missed it today, earlier today, I was on Maxwell King's channel and we interviewed Ira Hayden from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. So if you missed that, go on over to Maxwell's channel and maybe I will grab you the little link. How about that? Let me grab it and throw it in there. It was great. You know, Max asked me to join in. He was like, hey, I don't know if you want to be part of this. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to say no to speaking with an alumni from one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street movies. In a lot of people's eyes, the best. So it was really cool. It was a really great chat. Ira is such a just down to earth, like chill, regular dude. It was pretty cool. So maybe I'll be able to put a little something together with Ira over here on this channel. But let me grab that link. I'm searching for it and just blah, blah, blahing in the meantime. I'm trying to buy myself some time. You know what I mean? I got to buy myself that time. There we go, guys. You can hop on in over there and show some love. Max's channel he's been doing it for a little bit, but if it's your first time over there, throw him a sub, you know, hit the like on the video, hype it if you're digging it. Let's see if we can really make that one pop off a little bit. That'll be pretty cool. I'm going to pop off on this shit for a while, as Dennis Reynolds would say. We got Julie Lynn hanging out. What's happening, Julie? Our gal, Julie Erie. Oh, yes. Hope you're doing well, miss. Thank you so much for joining us. I already talked about all the Scream 8 stuff and all that. I didn't even get to do my rant on trailers. I'll save the trailer rant. Oh, my God. Supergirl, He-Man, and Backrooms? Fucking lame trailers. I'm ready for every movie to not look like a James Gunn movie. I'll say that. Not that Backrooms does, but the other two do. And I get why Supergirl does, kinda. But oh my God, it seems like every movie is looking like these kind of mediocre or increasingly mediocre James Gunn movies. I'll say that, increasingly mediocre. But anyways, I'll save that rant for another time. You guys just got a little mini rant version of it. But yeah, Julie, if you want to catch up on the news and all my wild thoughts. Well, my thoughts aren't even that wild. I'm making sure my blood pressure doesn't get too crazy and pumped up until we have something to actually worry about. How about that? But welcome on in, Julie. Austin Allman jumping on in. Welcome on in, one of our great channel members. And you know what, guys? Julie is one of our great channel members as well. Austin says, Davey, favorite Elm Street kills. You want multiple kills? Well, I'll say Will from Dream Warriors. How about that? Mr. Ira Hayden. You know, Mr. our wizard, our magician lord. And I say magician lord because I'm a video game nerd, and that's a Neo Geo title. Favorite Elm Street kills. I mean, how can you not say Tina? Right? Like that one's just so epic. And it's like the signature kill because they're using that rotating room and everything like that. I mean, the cockroach kill, I dig that one quite a bit. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Man, I'm struggling. Oh, what's his name? Is it Philip from Dream Master or Dream Warriors? Why do I keep Dream in every title? With the whole like walk, the marionette walk, that always like makes my insides hurt and feel uncomfortable. So I'll roll with that. Are you guys having to go to a horny jail? Guys, if you do want to hook up with somebody in the chat, I would appreciate it if you do it outside of the chat. I'm just fucking with you guys. I don't think anyone's trying to do that. Let's see here. Never seen Thanksgiving or Westlife. Thanksgiving's great. Love that movie. I thought Westlife was a band. I thought that's what you guys were talking about. Yeah, boy band. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let's see what else we got. I don't think I've missed anything as far as saying what's up or anything. Backrooms, I thought that trailer was super intriguing. But what? There's nothing in this trailer. There are all these Backrooms shorts already on YouTube. The reason why the guy got the movie is because he did all these shorts, right? I didn't see one little bit of any robot fucker in that trailer. Like, not like, what the fuck? Backrooms. I'm already like, somebody that I know was like, oh, the Backrooms, like the YouTube videos are cool, and I checked them out. I was just like, this is stupid. Like, there's nothing scary about this. That is my own, like, I'm just so cynical and negative about certain things where I'm just like, what's so scary about like a camera just wandering around and then like, you know, I thought the robot thing was cool or whatever, but it wore thin really quick. And then yeah, in this new trailer, I'm just like, okay, so they wander around. I'm hoping there's some of these monsters or something in there. Just looks like a bunch of Blair Witch Project kind of nothing, unfortunately. I feel like I wanted more from the trailer. After, like I said, no, I actually said out loud watching the trailer, I go, if you don't show me one of the robots, I'm going to be pretty bummed out, because that is like if you watch any of the Backroom, I think it's in like one of the first Backroom shorts that he made is one of the little drones that like chases. Like all I needed was even just like a leg moving out of frame or into frame, and then they cut. Like, I don't need to see the whole shot or see the whole thing. It just literally looks like people wandering around a bunch of yellow rooms. And I know hopefully it's going to be more than that, but I think it's going, when people say like, oh, A24 always makes these movies that are like so highfalutin and they're trying to say something and they don't say anything, and then the movie ends and like you don't even know what to make of the ending. Well, this movie's A24, and I would not be surprised if that's how Backrooms goes. If it's really got nothing to say, and it's just something that like, I don't know, are people gonna say that they understand it just so they appear to be smart, like with jazz music? Or is it actually gonna be good? We'll see. Yeah, that's right. I called out jazz music there. All right, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this one here. Yeah. It definitely did. It definitely did. And it's pretty fresh for me too. So, but yeah, I mean, dude, I envy you not having seen those, because I think I would have liked the trailer more. I would have been way more intrigued by the trailer, and I wouldn't have been expecting anything. You know what I mean? Like, you have the benefit of being able to watch the trailer and the mystery is exciting. And then I'm like, no, I wanted to see something. All right, guys, before we head out, I do want to shine a light on everyone that made that super chat goal happen. And guys, this should put us over the top of the most successful as far as all the monetary stuff goes, which it's not the most important thing. I just think it's kind of cool to reach milestones, right? So we're reaching a milestone here in March, and that's all thanks to you guys. You all have been killing it. With the support. It's been absolutely incredible. Thank you so very much. And really, all we got to do is keep on growing in numbers, and yeah, just let's get this thing crazy. Let's get crazy with it. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. $2 from Jigsaw. Thank you so very much. A $5 from Jigsaw. There we go. Sean G with a $5. Antonis with a $5 as well. T. Parker Evans with a very thought-provoking $5. This was a good one for conversation. Thank you so much, T. Ryan Michael with a 2. Ryan Michael with a 5. Tia Nina with a 2 for Scream Ocho. And then we've got a $5 from Antonis and $2.60. Very precise from our guy, Nicholas Woodall. Thank you guys so very much. Really appreciate you. Shout out to all the Patreon members and YouTube channel members. You guys are amazing. Shout out to the Death Squad mods, which I guess tonight would just, be me, but just shout out to all of them. Eli, Erica, Jamie, we got Brett, man. Who else do we got? I know we got some other folks. Just might not have seen them in here for a little bit. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Really do appreciate you. As far as Scream 8 goes, I will be appearing on other people's channels to talk about like theories and ideas or what I think is coming and all that. We will definitely get into that over here on this channel as well. And we will be covering the news as it unfolds. So whenever we get new word on what's going on with the, forthcoming sequel, we'll talk about it here. So you guys can make sure that, or you can be sure that you'll be able to get those updates here. Yes, Matt Facci. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Antonis. Thank you for the reminder. Facci is one of our great Death Squad mods. Okay, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this one. You all are beautiful. I will be back tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to find out which, from 1980 through 1999, what is the best horror movie. We're going to definitively find that out tomorrow. You all are beautiful. I love you guys so very much. That wraps it up for this one. But you know how we end this thing, right? Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.